Good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this through the knowledge seekers from Keshe on the Space Institute. In the past 13 years, 12 years, as we had the first session, we explained, we took you like a teacher from showing you the first words, the first steps, the first knowledge, bit by bit. We brought you in from gases from now material into space technology, into application of the dynamic systems, into energy levels. Then we brought you to cosmic rays, and we brought you into soul. And all this has a pattern. We don't do anything without reason. And in the past few weeks, few months, if you go back on the teaching, I use a word quite frequently, but in a way I set the scene for what to come today. What we will share with you today will change the course of history of man in respect to science. The reason for it is twofold. First of all, mankind, as knowledge seekers, which we will follow in a big way in the coming weeks and days, is ready to take that step. We are ready to break through the knowledge. There are a lot of things you hear around the background, and a lot of things you hear about what Keshe Foundation is doing, what we're doing, and now we have a very strong arm under the Macre Corporation of the United States that allows us to break through industrial revolution. Theoretical is one side, and practical, showing it, is the other side. Commercializing it in a massive way is the other side. And this is what we as knowledge seekers set up the Macre Corporation for. It belongs to us, and it's the way to break the technology through internationally. But at the same time, we have taught you in a very deep way. The knowledge you have is astonishingly so deep. Many of you have it, but you gathered connections, collections, bits by bits together, and you listen to a lot of knowledge seekers, and this brings us to the evolution in the science. What evolution is? We know everything about the matter. We know everything about what we called opposite to what the whole world does. For example, you hear about fusion system. Chinese is spending billions. They can hold it for 1,000 seconds, and then the French can do it 3 seconds more. They broke the record. We saw in the past Americans, NASA, whatever they call that, they could produce so much Tesla, and we showed with a simple way how we could achieve 129, and we hold the plasma together with a huge energy, and you knowledge seekers with a few cents put a caustic in there and do more than what the people in CERN do, but they can't accept it because they're connected to the world of matter state. We work both. We understand the matter state and we understand the energy state, what we call the cosmic ray. And this is what is the next step in the world of science comes to. Today's teaching will be extremely controversial, but I'll tell you why we are correct. We have built a system for it. When you build a system, you are not anymore in the realm of theory. When you build the system, you work in the dimension of the reality of time, and by law of physics, if you can repeat it and control it and bring it up to a position of understanding, a position of what we call working with the parameters, which gives us a chance to be able to what we call new dimensions. We understand deeper the science of creation. Rick, I have a problem in getting a whiteboard set up on my system. I don't know why. Could you please open a whiteboard and let me work on it?
Okay.
My system does not give me the option of whiteboard today. So what it comes to, oh, I have it, I've got it. If you go out, I can do it here. They've changed it up, they upgraded the webinar and they moved it to another position.
Yes,
So,
right. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so thank you very much. So what is important for us as knowledge seekers to understand how to bring the dimensions of the creation together. What does this mean? We know about cosmic rays. We know about planet Earth. We know about us as collection of fields. We know about us as being today 1st of May, day of labor and revolution of the communist explosion for rights of the workers and the rest of it. So we have a place, we have a position of being Labor Day, and then we have another dimension to it, and then we give it a time. What does this mean? In the structure of the physics of today, if you heard me many, many times, especially in the past few weeks, months, I refer to time, place, and position. I set you up, as you all know, I'm good in setting you up in a very good way for you that there is something comes in the future, but you just listen to the words, you don't look deeper into the structure. What does this mean? We call this one place. Yeah? And then we have a position. Our position. We are human, animal, tree, whatever we are. And then we are always called, this is your position. And then this is your time. You see the triangle. But this triangle does not work because one part is missing. And this is possession. What do we possess? Now you understand the triangle of creation, which when all three are working, you create time. Time does not exist if you don't have a place. What time? Is it Monday on the moon? Or is it first day on the moon? Position is, are you going to manifest yourself as a dog, as a man on the moon, or as another creature? So your position in what you appear important. Position is strength. I'm a man, so to manifest myself as a man, I need to have a certain magnetic field structure, which we call the amino acid. Amino acid is a magnetic field structure. So we know the position, we know the place, and we know the possession. In this point, then we arrive time zero. Beginning of time is when we decide on what it be and what we're going to appear as, and then in what field strength. Because if I change the field strength, the time moves. You all ran a star formation. This is the basis of the star formation if you look at it, and time is there. If you slightly change this, this moves. If you slightly change this, this moves. What does this mean? This means for the first time, we don't need to travel. If we change the strength of, we can move the time. We can live in different platform, in different dimension as a man, on the moon, but in 1,000 years ahead. So now we don't need to do the transmutation, because now we can move the time. The knowledge of controlling the time through the strength of magnetic field is only possible not in the material state because it's solid as stock. Only is possible in a plasmatic cosmic ray combination. In a way, we have found the key to travel time, to travel the space, to travel the energy, to travel the position. Go back to the teaching of the beginning of some of the teachings. We always refer to, we don't want to appear, we cannot appear on the moon with the structure of the man unless we change the strength of the amino acid of the man that can stand the condition of the place, which is the moon. So we cannot do that because the time is not there. We create the time. In a way, we can go to the future. And now, in the hand of the Keshe Foundation scientists, there is such a machine. We have developed it. The time machine, in the true essence of working, is in our grasp. Now we have completed the condition of the creation according to the dimension. In a way, we see the time. We can create that time. We can change the time. We can bring totality to the system and understanding how I don't need to go to the moon. I can be here, change the magnetic field condition, bring the time to the position of the life, and live as I live on the moon, on planet Earth. All I did, I changed the place. I chose a different place. This place creates a different dimension of time. The basic foundation of time, the basic foundation of the creation of plasmatic fields creates what we know as a structure of life in the universe. So parallel time exists. We created it. Now we have the knowledge to create the parallel time. By changing the cosmetic magnetic fields of the position, changing the cosmetic condition of the position, or changing the cosmetic condition of the place. This is why, if you go back to the teaching, I said, in time, I'll create for you a fish in the tank. I show you how, when you want to go to another place, how you look when you get there. Now this is the knowledge of it. This is the science of it. Now we know how to create dynamic magnetic fields. You cannot do it with the matter state magnetic field. CERN is one of them. They are trapped in the time and the position of solid magnets, trying to create a condition where they may have, high temperatures and the rest of it. If you move the position's gravitational magnetic fields, if you change the position magnetic fields, or you change the position magnetic fields, time will move. But the question to ask is very simple. Are there other with a different gravitational magnetic fields in the same place with the same position, living in a different dimension of time with us? Yes, they do. We call them aliens. Those who gather this knowledge in the space, maybe they were even created long after man was created. But they got to the knowledge before we do, they traveled up. This is why we see them, we don't see them, because they live in a different time and space. But they look like a man, they are on the earth, and their gravitational magnetic field inside is in their control to change it. They're here, and the time for them moves to another plate, another dimension. In a way, if you listen to the intro, you have the 4 reactors. How you play with it. You create a gravitational field, you hold it, but how do you change the position and time? You can manifest yourself, and the time does not exist till you show the position. From that moment, time is yours, is your time. This is how different time zone, different time, what we call interfaces exist. I change. I want to hold the time. I change my position. Two things can happen. Position can change or the place. I don't need to travel. If I keep myself as a human, my position I desire is New York. I'm there. Can I live in the different dimensions of time? In time, we teach you how. As many of you know, is now public knowledge, 10, 11, 12th of May in city of Beijing, for the first time, we show this remote. We endeavor to create a condition as one of the demonstrations, the creation of materials of given time. I showed you this last week as those white dots. These are possessions created in time, kept as earth, but places to fix. The position cannot be fixed, but we fix the position, and that's what it showed itself. To show this knowledge, we have set up a structure of teaching for years to bring you to this point. It's not anymore, can you transmute me? Can I transmute? Is where position, time, and the place I want to clear to be, to manifest myself. We all have this capability within us, where we bring the interaction of the soul and the soul of physicality to each other. Soul of physicality is position. The soul of the man is a possession. The place is earth. The time starts when I arrive. If you understand this and you can change two dynamics of the structure, you can travel the span of the universe instantaneously. But you have to understand how to create these fields, how to control them, how to manifest them. And in that structure, you have to learn how to create the elements in an energy level to be able to confirm the conditional creation of multiple time, not as zone on Earth, 3 hours behind, 2 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time, but in the strength of the magnetic fields, in the dimension of gravitational magnetic field position and position. So now we open a new dimension. What has been theoretical, can we travel the time? Now we know how. We have the science of it. Now is a knowledge, is a technology. Do you still want to sit in a craft, take you 7 months to get to the Mars? Hopefully you have enough food, you packed everything properly. The guy on the Earth did not make a mistake, like the aircrafts, tanking it the wrong way. You run out of the water halfway there. You get to the Mars and you're thirsty and die. Or you sit there, you get to the Mars, month, 2 months, 3 months, you got the right track to come back, another 7 months. The round trip of 18 months can be done in 18 seconds. Because now you can change the dimension, the position, and the position. This is how you transmute, how you go from A to B. This is why many of you have a problem with transmutation. We saw this in the test we did last week with the knowledge seekers. we interfere with their emotion between the interaction of the soul of physicality and the soul of man. We don't need to change. We adjusted. One of the knowledge seekers, I felt love. And exactly on our communication with our center of control, we added combination which creates to call love, with create knowledge. We can create everything else. But in the same structure, we can create to eliminate wars, conflicts, killing, because each one to kill creates an emotion. Now we have the knowledge, and we can reverse technology, the killing, into dimension of time, when the whole of humanity has never taken place, but it still stays as man. The evolution. Once the man understand what's on the screen that you knowledge seekers look at, will bring a total change in the fabric of the society, of the human race. Now, you want to be 1,000 years? You adjust the energy fields to live, because you keep the position and the position. You play with time by changing the dimension of the place, or you change another parameters. We, in the what we call star formation, we tried to create a lift. Now we create a time. When we did the first structures, we showed energy inside the plasma balls in Sanya in 2017-18. The object wasn't there to show you, the object wasn't there to lift, was to bring the position to now the creation of the plasmas in interaction with each other can create time. Time machine of the creation in the control of man. But we don't have fast enough computers, so we have developed the technology for man to understand on the level of emotion, where you control knowledge seekers, that they become the captains of the future of the space technology in time and the space. They understand how we control. It's easier to control 7 than 7 billion. In the sessions which is set up, we were supposed to do it tomorrow, we do it on Tuesday, because some of you know it's a bank holiday, and space-time of here, some of the knowledge seekers who are participants are not available, or they're celebrating different things of the May Day holiday. So we moved the time to Tuesday, because we have different countries celebrate different days in between. So when we meet you lot with the 7 participants of the last time, you choose yourself a captain. You'll be sent a list of 7 captains. Who do you want to trust your soul with, that he creates a time, place, and position? And can we all meet at the same time? Selective time by the captain brings position and possession to all the others. This was taught very early in time in the knowledge seekers. Trusting your captain, trusting the man. This time you trust the captain, you go in with your luggage on the suitcase, on the chart, on the arm, on the aircraft, and you think he'll take you from New York to Washington, nothing will happen. You trust him with your physicality. Now you have to trust him with your energy, with the soul, with a combination of the emotion. Today's teaching will be a watershed in the world of science if you understood. And if you haven't understood, it's another teaching. For centuries and decades, what's on the picture, on the screen, will become the blueprint for the evolution of the science of the society of man. How we'll travel, how we'll do it, because without the emotion, I cannot create the position and position. And what's the use if I don't know where I'm going and what time I create in the life of that time for me, because from now on, my time is a zero time, not the time of the place and the position, because the place has been there. I am moving into it. Or if you are the pure soul, you create the dimension of the time, you become the star. That's your position. And place in the time of zero of the time, in that place in the universe. This is why we taught so much past 2 or 3 years about the soul, about this emotion, about the soul of physicality. Because if something happens with your emotion, instead of ending up on planet Zeus, you end up in the center of another galaxy, another universe, and the rest of it. And this is why in the demonstration of the past 2 years, playing with you lot who came every month, so let us to play with your soul, we saw how you lot panic, how you lot go, and then suddenly one of you panics, the whole lot of you fall. We see it clearly. So now the structure it goes, you can travel with a donkey, you have a Joyce with a what you call UFO, and you thought they are very advanced. Then you move to another dimension of traveling as a transmutation. Now you travel the way the Creator travels. He creates a time at the presence of his energy. At that position, you manifest yourself with a position of time, zero to start. Then it comes a big question for mankind. Does time exist? We live in the time of the creation of planet Earth. We are not living on the time of creation of us. And once man understands this, you understand why this planet is the greenhouse, is where we grow the seeds of the soul of the man for different dimensions of the universe. As this dimension, this energy given to it in a position and a place will start at zero time, start of a life, start of a cycle. This is why we have a big conflict in the world of science. Earth was created now with a new idea 4.5 billion years ago, but up to now, everything was created 4.5 billion years ago. Now we see 13 billion years, and then it happened for the Earth to be created billions of years later. Did it happen? Or is it all place and time, all created instantaneously through different field strength of the position, place, that the time has become one and the rest is all? Did the fields of the Creator travel billions of years to make Earth, or was it there in a position and a possession as one cell, the rest solidified into it, in a way manifested into it? And is there parallel universes? There are parallel galaxies in respect to each other. We talk about a lot of things. We see the mirror reflection and the rest of it. But now you have a machine, you can create it and change the evolution of the science of man. For the first time, you understand the creator of time is you. At the field, the magnetic gravitational field, in the plasmatic condition of a consideration of the position and the place, you create, you start the zero time. And if you want to keep everything in the three position, place, and the position, then in changing any of the three parameters, you move the time. You become time travelers through the true essence of transformation and transmission of energies, and not by wormholes and dog holes and every other thing which you never understood. In the exhibition of 2025 in city of Beijing, we try remotely to show you how. In a way, we allow people come to some of them to dictate and see what does if they change things. For the first time, we show you what we call the traveler of time, the spacecraft system, which has been developed, and we control majority of its outcome. In a way, if you remember, I showed you the gases last time. And you remember, I showed you the material last time. There is a purpose. We don't deal with the matter state, we deal with the energy state. But we have to understand what the energy state in matter state is, that we decide the combination and position of time. Today's teaching will change the world of science if the scientists understand how the world has changed. Do you want to see the beginning of time than being part of the time which is created and the condition of the earth at the same time as the rest of the universe? When you have a moisture in the room and you suddenly change the condition that every space has exactly the same temperature and the pressure, and then you suddenly change one of the parameters, you see the water crystals. You see bits of water, ice hanging, and then you see that's exactly what we do. So, in a way, if we freeze time, we can see different dimensions of time across the universe. Does multiple time exist? Yes, if you understand how. If you understand it's a combination of interaction of the three different elements in plasmatic condition, which each one has a position, and a place. Then the whole universe suddenly sparks out with thousands and millions of stars and galaxies that we never understood. We're trying to adjust it 4.5 billion, 13 billion, all created at the same time as the fields of the universe fix this time. What happens if our universe moves in a different position, that the external gravitational magnetic field of the universe, according to its position, changes? Our time will change, our manifestation will change, our structure will change. It's exactly like being your water and suddenly put in the freezer, different condition. Space and time is the place where the soul of the man, through the emotion, control of the emotion of the man, will dictate the manifestation, what we call the position. My position, I am in the figure of man. I've changed the strength of my soul. I appear as a fish. Many of you have done, but you don't understand. But then you're at the same time. If you understood that, you closed the door of the time, you locked it, and you change the what we call magnetic field of the position, you have changed the position. You become a dog. I saw myself as a mermaid because half of my structure still connects to dimension of physicality energy. The other half has moved on. I saw myself and others in different shapes and forms. Because now you have locked, you put your foot down, you're still connected, you're still part of physical life of this planet, time and place and position, but you see another time space. Because what we did last week, in the latter part, we changed the enlightenment, and some who God received it, they moved on. Once we create the condition of enlightenment, there is no need for fear, there is no need for peace, there is no need for love, because everything below it is in it. Now we have a choice. We become a time travelers, we become what we call transmuters, we become transferers by UFOs, or we become man still pushing the rockets, the cars, and the rest of it. We can choose any according to which one we change, which dimension of the fields of the transmutation, of the transportation, of the possession of the position we decide. Now you understand why emotion is so important, because the emotion dictates the place, the position, and the position, which in interaction with each other creates the time. The time machine is in our hand. Many of you will travel through this time. When we bring you in on Tuesday, some of you will see that. You will receive an email. respond to it, who you want to be your captain. We decide two options. If we see two men with one of you, we push you to the other one. You have to trust us. Your knowledge seekers from China, knowledge seekers from Australia, knowledge seekers from Canada, from South America, from Europe, from Asia. You play the game with us. Now it's time to enjoy the game. Nothing is coincidental. You use the word for me to tell you, come to me to lens. I use the system to give you the dimension of the emotion. When knowledge seekers who were with us explain something to us, they don't know what they explain, but we know what we did for them to get that feeling, that emotion. After today's session, we have a meeting with them to prepare them to become the captains of you lot on the Tuesday session. And these 7 captains will stay for life of the testing with us. We don't change again. And in that position and position, we bring the operation of the 7 captains to the members of Universe Council. It's their decision how they want to interact with outside. We see this in the next 12 months, maybe more, maybe less. Depends on how the evolution of science comes. Now was creation of the time and time travel, different times, different parallel world, parallel things, all make sense. You change any of these parameters. You change, you build reactors, which we talked as an intro for each one of these, which creates different condition of your time will change. Now the man has a technology how to play with time. Those of you who will be allowed to come into the exhibition, we'll give you a chance to play with time. You will see the feeling. You will see how parameters changes according to your wish. Time does not exist unless you have a place, you know what you want to appear as, and what field is going to use to. And if you change the other 3, the time will manifest itself. You call it a dream, now it's a dream machine. The process of creating and playing with time in the essence of plasma condition is the way the universe creates time for us. When I listen, they say, oh, it's taking 5,000 light years to get here. Oh boy, our scientists are not even at the infancy of the knowledge of the creation. They're stuck in the little toy, what I call, we call them a specific name for them, and repetition of the same habit to confirm their existence. Autistic, in understanding the knowledge of the creation and repetition of the same mistake to confirm that we are correct. As knowledge seekers, you made different reactors. Now, if you understand how to control each one in a specific way, you can create time, move time, see how it looks in 10 years' time, how it looks in 1,000 years' time. I always said you cannot see the past, but if you know how to create the time, you don't need to go out and look for the fraction of what it was as the dynamic structure, but you go to the time when it was created. Can you influence the future of past to the future? Again, it depends what emotion you put in the dimension of the creation. In a way, if you play with the position and position, you can play with emotion. And that emotion creates a time, which gives the time the place. In understanding position is the soul and position is the soul of physicality, then you have to manifest the time, but you have to have a time to manifest yourself. I made man in the image of myself, but I gave man the knowledge of me to make my image. The knowledge of the space technology is according to what I said from the first days, according to the intelligence of the man. If you understand, you are not prejudiced, and you are prepared to understand the totality and not draw a border. This is how much my intelligence is. That's what I want to understand. Then, if not, we become monkeys, see one, do one without understanding. And now we have the what I call the feedback and the kickbacks of the future. The only way we can stop the killing in the race of the man is to move the time and change the position. Because the position will be still a man and the place will still be the earth. Changing ganses won't do. Changing the whole structure of the time on this planet will bring that position where the man cannot even have in his memory the dimension of destruction and killing which has been inhabited. Now you understand why at the beginning I said we bring the biggest change in the world of the knowledge of the man, because the knowledge of time is the essence of the creation and the condition to manifest, to be understood, to exist, to be part of. Then you understand why half of the universe looks dark. As is in another dimension, in another magnetic field strength, and is in another time that is not open to us. If we change the time in a combination of the structure of our system, we can see what is in that dark position, the place, the position, and the position. If you don't have these three, you can't have time. If you're another man, you don't exist. Time doesn't exist. If you don't have a place, you cannot manifest yourself. So time doesn't exist. If you don't have a strength to show itself to be have a position and position, it never existed. So the time is zero. But what happens when the knowledge of the man comes to the point that he can play with time? That's another chapter in the knowledge of creation. Because when you fix the time, you fix the place, position, and position. Isn't this what we do? We call it the summer, winter, blah, we fixed it. This is what's going to happen in the summertime. Spring comes, the flowers come, we feel better, and the rest. We have so much tuned into it that even those who have no essence of another dimension all create their own offsprings at that given time we call the spring. Maybe for the first time you understand why even what you call the spring, what you call the cycle of life starts. Because of the magnetic field constantly coming to the same position, creates another condition of the position, which creates condition of place and my hope is that mankind will understand the creation of time, the space camp, the conditioner, and will not abuse it. Because this is the key to travel the span of the universe without rocket fuel, without UFOs, without transmutation, but understanding the process of the creation of time. If time does not exist, nothing does. There is no position, there is no position, there is no place. In one word, if you understand the teaching of today and truly be able to translate it in the dimension of the work of the physicality of the man, you will find how standing still at this time, you look like a dog, cat, stone, and everything else, and carry all their emotions, even though you still remember your soul is the soul of the man. I made man in the image of myself. But is man knowledgeable enough to understand what my image is? Does he trust in himself? Does he have the capability to trust in himself that he can change the time? Now you understand how easily man can make his time travel interfere with time of itself, and in that position and a place, creating a new dimension of manifestation. I hope you understand what this means. I hope those of you who become involved in creation of time and time travel of the future of the man respect, understand, and be grateful for the knowledge you receive, that it does not start another cycle of killing, as the man has got used to it, according to the time and the place of this planet, where the place is wrong, but the man and his soul is perfect. Maybe it's time to move the man times of manifestation, or move the man to another place that he can live through the soul of physicality and physicality of the man and the soul of the man in a given new time. Now we have the technology. Now we have the machinery that actually creates time. This machine originally was made around about 2014, 2013 and before. To cover it, I called it the energy reactor. But in fact, the way it's designed in the layer of instruction creates a combination of time. Those of you who come to Beijing, if we're lucky enough and the time allows, understanding the position we have taken, will some of you be able to change some parameters and then feel within you what time you have created, what energy you have created, and connect yourself to the material of the time and the place and the position, and understand you are thousands of kilometers away from the source. And if you can cover that time, you can cover the whole span of the universe. Always has been the dream of the man, a time machine. Now man has the technology to create the time that it becomes his machine to be able to travel the span of the universe. And is a gift for Keshe Foundation and knowledge seekers to humanity, as we are all the tools to bring that position and time for man to move. I hope, my deepest wish is that no man abuses the time. As if you abuse the time, you have to stand the time of what I call understanding the mistakes one has made. It's the way the Creator manifests and it's the way that parallel worlds, dimension of field and strength exist. And you have to understand the parallel world of different energies. It brings parallel worlds of life. I hope sooner than later, mankind will be able to move to bring this new time and dimension to us. And this is why we decided now, when I teach like this, as you've been with us, Vatican and others, thunders break out of nowhere, the skies have opened. Knowledge of the man is pure. Try to understand the knowledge of the creation, and into what you understand is where you'll be. In the back of the donkey, the rocket, in the UFO, transmutation, or traveler of the time. And this time, we have given you the full option. It seems a lot of you would still like to be on the donkey. And the others don't exist, are fairy tales, because you don't carry the knowledge, the trust in the information and knowledge of your own creation and nothing else. In the coming time, in the future, and the future teaching, I try to bring this down to the point, one by one, how you control the time, how you change time, and you will see what's the future of me in space. Why I was born? What's the reason of my birth? And where shall I end up? And what will be the time and the place where I will be, as I can change it during the time when I have the chance to change the dimension of physicality. I hope mankind will not abuse this machine, because mankind has to understand how to control the time of existence. As we have had this machine for years, I put it as usual right under your nose that you never saw. But now our knowledge scientists have reached that point that they can dictate the time and place and creation of the fields that changes the time. Place, position, and when it comes to time. We go for a break. Come back, and I hope many of you will understand the world of science has changed, as man could never understand and tried many times to change time. But now everyone has the tools to change that time, and the way look into the future of their soul as an energy plasma, cosmic condition, and actually physicality of the man, which is hard to move.